Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for Shubha Mangalarati. I thank all the devotees. So let's start our all auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before that, we begin with a short Kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Budirahet Nastaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatrupatma Mahamonde Sri Guru Tirataram Paramananda Madhavam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, text number 17. Sautye vrataha kumati natmada ishvaro me yatpada padmam abhavaya bhajanti bhavyaha mam shantavaham arayo ratino bhavistham na praharam yad anubhava nirasta chittaha. Word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sautya regarding a chariot driver, Vrataha engaged, Kumatina by bad consciousness, Atmada one who delivers Ishvaraha, the Supreme Lord, may my Yathus, Pada Padmam, lotus feet, Abhavaya in the matter of salvation, Pajanti to render service, Bhavyaha the intelligent class of men, Mam unto me, Shanta thirsty, Vaham my horses, Araya the enemy's Ratina, a great general, Bhuvistam while standing on the ground, Na did not, Praharan attack, Yat whose Anubhava, mercy, Nirasta being absent, Chitta mind. Translation. It was by his mercy only that my enemies neglected to kill me when I descended from my chariot to get water for my thirsty horses. And it was due to my lack of esteem for my Lord that I dared engage him as my chariot driver, for he is worshipped and offered services by the best men to attain salvation. Purport. The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the object of worship both by impersonalists and by the devotees of the Lord. The impersonalists worship his glowing effulgence emanating from his transcendental body of eternal form, bliss, and knowledge. And the devotees worship him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are below, even the impersonalists, consider him to be one of the great historical personalities. The Lord, however, descends to attract all by his specific transcendental pastimes, and thus he plays the part of the most perfect master, mind, son, master, friend, son, and lover. His transcendental relation with Arjuna was in friendship, and the Lord therefore played the part perfectly as he did with his parents, lovers, and wives. While playing in such a perfect transcendental relation, the devotee forgets by the internal potency of the Lord that his friend or son is the supreme personality of Godhead. Although sometimes the devotee is bewildered by the acts of the Lord. After the departure of the Lord, Arjuna was conscious of his great friend, but there was no mistake on the part of Arjuna, nor any ill estimation of the Lord. Intelligent men are attracted by the transcendental acting of the Lord with a pure, unalloyed devotee like Arjuna. In the war field, scarcity of water is a well known fact. Water is very rare there, and both the animals and men working strenuously on the war field constantly require water to quench their thirst. Especially wounded soldiers and generals feel very thirsty at the time of death, and it sometimes so happens that simply for want of water, one has to die unavoidably. But such scarcity of water was solved in the Battle of Kurukshetra by means of boring the ground. By God's grace, water can be easily obtained from any place if there is a facility for boring the ground. The modern system works on the same principle of boring the ground, but modern engineers are still unable to dig immediately wherever necessary. It appears, however, from the history as far as back as the days of the Pandavas, that big generals like Arjuna could at once supply water even to the horses and want to speak of men by drawing water from underneath the hard ground simply by penetrating the stratum with a sharp arrow, a method still unknown to the modern scientists. Om Tat Sat. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्ष्मुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीतपथकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता च विशाखान्वितां च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुमे तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So welcome everybody. I take this opportunity. I thank all my leaders, my mentor, the president, for giving me this opportunity to share few words on these words. So yesterday we heard from Vijayata Mataji. So great generals like Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Bhurishwara, Susharma Salya, Jayadratha, and Mahalika. So they are all trying to uh, kill Arjuna, not only Arjuna, all the Pandavas, but they could not do anything. Here Arjuna is giving statement, but by his means Lord Krishna's grace, they could not even touch a hair on my head. So that is the mercy of the Lord. If we are very much dedicated for the service of the Lord, the demons cannot do anything with us. They need to simply, abide by the order of the Supreme Lord. But devotees are so wonderful, and they are always dedicated their life and soul for the service of the Lord. Here, Arjuna is declaring that it was by his mercy only that my enemies neglected to kill me when I descended from chariot. As you know, Kurukshetra, Delhi, these areas are very, very hot, and people, especially in the summer, they are very thirsty, and getting water nowadays is very difficult. And today, the water is being sold. So actually, water is not supposed to be sold. So the unfortunate situation has started in the Kali Yuga. So Arjuna, he wanted to get down, and he wanted to quench the thirst of the horses and himself also. But here he is mentioning that it was due to my lack of esteem for my Lord that I dared engage him as my chariot driver. So he is feeling very bad that uh, he engaged him as a chariot driver. Actually, Arjuna did not ask this one, but when Arjuna and Duryodhana went to the Supreme Lord Krishna for help for the war field, as you all know the story very well, Duryodhana and Arjuna, the Lord gave preference to Arjuna because Arjuna was sitting on the head side, whereas Arjuna is sitting on the feet side. Duryodhana is sitting next to the Lord. But as soon as the Lord, wakes up, immediately he saw Arjuna and he said that I will ask you the boon. So then Arjuna preferred the Supreme Lord, but whereas Duryodhana, he underestimated the, the Supreme Lord's potency. One Krishna is sufficient. Yesterday, Mataji was mentioning. So many zeros are there. These zeros, do not have any value unless it is prefixed by one. That one is Krishna. Like in our lives, we are also heroes and heroines, and we are very proud of our knowledge or our muscle power or brain power. But it is all coming from Krishna. So matta smriti jnanam apohanam jam. So unless we prefix Krishna, unless we welcome Krishna in our life, we are not so powerful. Maybe materially we may pose like that, but Lord can withdraw that power anytime. So today's billionaire, tomorrow he may be a pauper, and today's intelligent, tomorrow he may go into a coma also. The Lord is very powerful. He can do anything and everything as per his wish. So coming to the point here, Arjuna is feeling a kind of morose that, oh, how come I engage with the Supreme Lord as my chariot driver? Actually, Krishna, he gave, boon to Duryodhana and Arjuna saying that I do not carry any weapon in the war. And I alone come with you, but I do not fight. I do not take any weapon to fight. But whereas if you don't want me, other side I have a Yadava party. My Yadava Sainya is there that I can give you. Which one you want? So Arjuna, he knows that he is the Supreme Lord and he is his well-wisher friend. He requested, oh Supreme Lord, you please be with me. Then Krishna has agreed to be a chariot driver actually. So to be a driver is very uh, just like these days also we engage Ola, Uber, and the driver has to come and he takes us to the destinations and we pay him. And that is the driver duty actually. That kind of service Supreme Lord has accepted means how great he is. How though the whole universe is his, but still he became a servant of his devotee. So this now Arjuna, he went to Dwarka. He could not able to see the Lord because the Lord has already left this world and he has reached the Vaikuntha Golaka planets. And Arjuna is feeling the separation now. He was the where he went on thinking and thinking the activities of the Lord which he had, the memories of the Lord which he had. Now he is memorizing all of them. And how come I engage the Supreme Lord as my chariot driver? Oh, what a pathetic situation. And here he is mentioning that for he is worshipped and offered services by the best men to attain salvation. Yeah, he is the best man. Not by, I mean, the Supreme Lord is, all auspicious. All the best men in the world, they are supposed to offer their worships. Even Brahma, Lord Shiva, they come to the Svetadeva and Svetadvipa and, they recite Purusha Suktam to invite the Lord. But Lord, it is Lord's wish to come or do not come. From there, he can speak or he can come. It is all Lord's will and wish. So, such a supreme Lord, how come I engaged him in this warfare and as a chariot driver, and it is difficult to understand his position. But it is the Lord's will and wish. So at the same time, devotees should not take it granted the service of, uh, acharyas, gurus, and even senior devotees. We are not supposed to expect their services into the menial services. Of course, they come and do voluntarily. That's okay. But from our side, we are not supposed to demand, hey, Prabhu, Mataji, and for menial services. We are not supposed to engage them in our personal services, especially. Okay, so we move forward. Devotees can't take service from the Lord, but the Lord does. And we are not supposed to engage them in this way. And also here mentioned uh, the best meant to attain salvation. Either the person has got desires or if he does not have any desires also, only the Supreme Lord to be worshipped. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama buddharati tivrena bhakti yogena yadate purusham param. If you have desires, if you don't have desires, even if you want liberation, the Supreme Lord Krishna only is the worshipable Lord. So we need not go to the demigods and ask them for so many benedictions because whatever demigods give the benediction, they are temporary only. But the Supreme Lord gives it is all auspicious and it is permanent also. Maybe we can ask so many other boons, but the Lord will assess. He will do, he does the examination and he thinks if I give this boon, really, this devotee can able to withstand, or is it good for him? Should I grant or do not grant? And for devotees, Lord thinks so much. But for non-devotees, he gives, okay, you want this, okay, you take it, then he has to suffer. Like demigods, they give like that. But Krishna, he does not give such kind of roles. Even, he always makes the devotees, remember him, serve him. By those service, the devotees surely they will come back to him. This way, Lord uh, make such a plan that all the devotees will come back to Godhead. He is claiming all the fallen souls. Due to our unfortunate situation, we are unable to understand the Lord's plan, and we are so lazy and lethargic. Though there were so many books of Srila Prabhupada, though there are so many sannyasis are coming and giving lectures, though the services, various services are available, but out of our own comfort zone, out of laziness, and we are rejecting the services. Thereby, sometimes we feel morose in our devotional service. But somehow or the other, and by the mercy of Guru, if we can engage all of us in the service, then the Lord is easily revealed. Okay, so here in the another para it is mentioned that Lord, intelligent men are attracted by the transcendental acting of the Lord with a pure unalloyed devotee like Arjuna. Intelligent devotees means, and I also remember what words in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32. I am reading out Krishna Varnam Visha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayayar Yajantihi Sumedashaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. With this, surely we can understand that the same Supreme Lord appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is always coming with the Panch Tattva and other Kirtan party, and always he chants and he dances and sings the glories of the Lord. So, when he performs like this, who gets attracted means intelligent persons perform. And the intelligent persons, they are getting attracted. They also participate. This congregational chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, singing and dancing. But how do we call them as intelligent persons? It is not that we have done MBBS or MTech or CA, so many other degrees that we can understand the Lord. That is not the way to understand the Lord. An intelligent person should simply worship Krishna and chant Hare Krishna and dances and always engages in his service. And he is an intelligent person. How is that possible? Means if you know Krishna, you know everything. Even if you know everything, but you do not know Krishna, you are a big zero. So, because if you read Bhagavad Gita, all the core subject matters are already mentioned there. Either you want psychology or philosophy or astronomy or astrology or medicine or any subject matter you say, it is already covered in the Shastras, especially in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Vedic science and culture still unknown to the modern scientist. Here in the upper part, it is mentioned that at the end, here Arjuna he bore a hole to the ground so that he could fetch water and he could feed all the horses and soldiers. And this method is still unknown to the modern scientists because they try with their mundane knowledge. Sometimes they are successful, sometimes they are not successful, and majority they are not successful. So if they can apply the Vedic science, it is all auspicious and it is all good also. Vedic science means, say, for example, after we use bathroom or urinals, it is good to wash our, feet, our hands, our mouth. So why does we do so? But there is a scientific reason behind that. Because when we use bathroom, when we excrete from our body, especially either urine or stool, there is a bacteria forms. Bacteria comes out, it spreads the area, and we need to protect out of that. So we need to, wash our feet and hands and mouth properly so that the bacteria will not spread. In this way, the Vedic culture has designed it in such a way that it protects us from all kinds of, attacks and dangers. So, not knowing this, people are unable to do. Thereby, we are falling sick. Okay. So, and also in Vedic culture, yeah, it is mentioned, when to use the right hand, when to use the left hand, and why we should not engage in some frivolous sports. It is all mentioned in the Vedas. If anybody can read properly, they can get the highest knowledge. But if we try to understand on our own way, then there are a lot of mistakes and errors. We may have to do that, just like Microsoft or anybody else. They have invented so many uh, gadgets, but the gadgets are getting outdated. So we need to check it. Why so many versions like Windows 10, Windows 11, and why Android version 2, 2.0, mobiles 4G, 5G. There should be only one G, that is God. Then why do we need so many Gs? Because we are imperfect. We need to constantly update ourselves. Then only we come. But Vedic science is not like that. For example, if you say Bhagavad Gita, long back, it is the same 700 slokas and 18 chapters. Krishna spoke and Arjuna heard. Arjuna got enlightened. But even in spite of hearing, and we are not much enlightened because Arjuna has given a lot of keen attention, rapt attention to hear the Lord, and the people, those who are just posing like they are very keen, but their habits are not good. Then this Bhagavad Gita will not have effect on them. Okay, so we move forward. Like Vedic science, I was talking about the in the Vedic culture, they used to have Gomata in their house. In their house, they used to have cow milk, and they used to use gomutra and cow dung for the cow dung used is very wonderful for making a boga offering. That fire is the most auspicious actually. By burning the cow dung and making foodstuffs and offering to the Lord, it's very auspicious. And if you take cow dung and smear the floor and inside outside the house, then no bacteria will enter. Though it might smell little, but it has got all the protection, all the protection from all the infections. And if we go deep into the Vedic science, it's so wonderful. Even nowadays, the people are playing, what do you call, planetarium show they are keeping, and they are charging hundreds of rupees. And when the people get into the planetarium and it is showing so many stars and planets are there, and the earth will, will end very soon. There will be calamities, and we no longer can able to withstand. And when you come out of the show, it is a great confusion. You do not understand what they have shown. But if you come to the temple of Vedic planetarium, and as per Srimad Bhagavatam, they have clearly explained how this universe has been created, how the living entities have come up, and who gave that seed, and how we can come out of this banks of material nature, how we can go back to the Supreme Lord. These things are very nicely explained with the scientific proof. And this is the greatest difference between the material planetarium and spiritual planetarium. So coming back to the words, here the Arjuna is mentioning that how come I engaged Krishna into chariot driver? So how I was dared. So it is I should not do this. And he was still thinking the absence of the Lord, because it was by the mercy only that Arjuna able to fight. Now Arjuna, the Supreme Lord is not there, and the Lord also thought that he could withdraw my powers. Why means maybe one day if I hold all the power, I may become very proud. I may become, very powerful. Then there I develop ahankara, and in that situation I might forget the Supreme Lord. Maybe Lord has withdrawn for this reason. Then let me fully, surrender to the Lord. Like this, not only Arjuna, all the Pandavas, they have understood that the Supreme Lord has left the planet, and also it is a time for them to leave. That's why this first canto of 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Pandavas retire timely, it is mentioned. Why timely means the Kali has already entered, and they have to take a certain austerities and completely devote themselves, and by the mercy of the Lord, surely they will go back to the Godhead. That was the plan they have decided. And at the same time, the learning for us is how best we are devoting ourselves to become Krishna consciousness. There are so many services available, so many books are available. Uh, we are supposed to read those books and do the courses like Bhakti Pravesh, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Siddhanta, and also IDC courses, Bhakti Sadachar. All these courses we are supposed to read, and we should become more Krishna consciousness, and do the wonderful services under the guidance of a spiritual master, and innately serve with all the devotees, so that we can get rid of all these kinds of anomalies in our services. So, in this way, Arjuna feeling bad in this sloka. Maybe in the upcoming verses, we can hear from other speakers also. So, I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna. If you have anything to be shared or any comments, questions, reflections, you are welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, bro. Thanks
Yeah.
for the nice class, bro. It was very interesting to note that we had the borewell technology some 5,000 years back. They are now calling super borewell and other things. We had that. And even during summer, where to dig and where water will come automatically for the horses and for us. So it's so wonderful to read that. Prabhu, my question was uh, yeah, Arjuna is feeling that it was my lack of esteem that he engaged the Lord as a chariot driver, right, Prabhu? That is a kind of a thing. So he was in that friendly relationship, Sakya Bhava. Okay. So my question is, yeah, even in Goloka, all the Gopa boys are also treating Lord as a friend. Do they also feel that, oh, did I mean, they were playing with Lord, and so do they also some kind feel that, oh, did I do this with the Supreme Lord? Something like that. I don't know whether I framed the question well, but that's my doubt.
They may feel, and Lord will take some advantage, and Lord also can depute them to the material world. But it is not that they have thought in that way. But Lord will take such and such devotees according to His mood, and then He will depute them to the material world. For example, there are certain kind of people in the material world. They don't want to see any form of the Lord. Then
Mhm.
Lord has to send such a devotee to them so that they should at least stick to His rules and regulations. So, like there are Nirakarvadis. They say Lord does not have a form, but still Lord has to take care of them. For such kind of people, Lord will send representative, maybe Muhammad. Mm. So even if Muhammad is not there, how Muslims can able to do the worship? So, like yeah, there are there for the general public, if they do not believe anything, Lord will arrange such and such angels for them so that they can at least to devote to them. And even the people who don't want a God also, for them, He will appoint certain leaders or certain people whom they can report actually. So the Lord will make use of all His devotees in Vaikuntha Golaka. And if He wishes, He will retain them in the spiritual abode. But He wishes, He will send them to any planet also. Like He has deputed Yamaraj. Yamaraj is a wonderful devotee, but always he is in Yamaloka only. He is seeing all the punishments and he is awarding punishments. But he is one of the Mahajan. So in that way, Lord will depute according to time, place, and circumstance because material world is only 25%, spiritual world is 75%. Hope it answers. Maybe.
Yes, yes, bro. So Arjuna also had Sakya and a little bit of, can we say Aishwarya Bhava or something like that?
Yeah, he was fully in Sakya Baba because
Okay.
he wanted Lord to be his friend. But sometimes he goes a little beyond that and he
Dasya.
was, yeah, and sometimes he goes a little closer. Then he forgets that even friendship also. Then Lord has to teach him lessons by withdrawing his powers. Because here in the series of verses, he has been glorifying the Lord that because of his mercy only, I could able to get Draupadi by fixing the fish and also defeating Lord Shiva and getting Paspatastra. And Lord keep on saying, okay, okay, you do. Whenever I want, I will withdraw it. So
See,
though now the Lord is not there, but when the Lord is there also, he withdrew the power to teach him lesson. Like that Brahmana's sons, they died and Arjuna could not able to protect them. That was the withdrawal of the power. And again, he gives the power. So like that, Lord also plays games. He does a leela with the devotees also. It is very wonderful. Maybe you all can come to Shamana Utsava for Rampasa Maharaj for non-stop 8 days. You can come and witness how the devotees are more merciful, powerful by the mercy of Hare Krishna.
Thank you.